What is up, dudes and dudettes? I am the Mystical Green Beanie, and welcome to my spoiler-filled review for Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman. Now, if you want to check out my non-spoiler review, I will have a link to that in the description down below. So, I was never really a big fan of Wonder Woman before the Brian Azzarello run, and I know that's a very unpopular thing to say, especially among most of the real Wonder Woman fans out there, but while reading this run, I really realized, what I didn't like about the character before, and there's two main reasons. And reason number one is Wonder Woman is an amazing concept. She's a battle-ready princess warrior who's one of the most powerful beings in the universe and has strong ties to Greek mythology. However, instead of tackling these aspects of the character head-on, they're usually danced around, and when they are tackled head-on, they're dumbed down. Reason number two being Wonder Woman is a comic book character, so I expect to read a comic book about a character. What I don't expect is to sit down and read a damn 20-page thesis on the history of feminism and how it relates to our modern-day society. If I wanted to do that, I'd literally read any article written by William Marston or just go on Tumblr. So, when Brian Azzarello was announced as the writer for Wonder Woman, I had mixed feelings. On the one hand, he's written a lot of stuff that I actually like, such as Joker, Lex Luthor, Man of Steel, and 100 Bullets. But at the same time, he also had one of the most unforgivably bad runs on Hellblazer. So, yeah. I was very cautious when going into this book. But I gotta say, when he finished up his story and DC announced a brand new creative team, I almost cried, because Brian Azzarello's run on Wonder Woman, in my opinion, is the definitive run on this character. So, starting off with the world that Wonder Woman lives in, as I said before, I was never really a big fan of how the Greek mythology is always dumbed down. It always feels like the writers are trying to write for this weird Disney fairy tale movie, and Azzarello fixes that by writing the Greek gods how they actually were. Hell, the entire premise for Volume 1 is Zeus knocks up some chick and Hera tries to kill her. That's like 40% of the Greek myths right there. The gods are assholes. They lie to each other, they screw each other, and they cheat on each other. And they also view humanity as the dirt between their toenails. And automatically, I'd much rather see a story about a badass warrior princess dealing with gods like these, rather than gods like this. And with that being said, I'd just like to gush all over the portrayal of Wonder Woman, and say that this is the best written Wonder Woman I've seen in years. And that's mainly because here, she's looked at as a three-dimensional character first, as opposed to most other runs where she's viewed as a woman first. Azzarello writes Diana as a person with the life experiences of a woman who was raised on an island full of women who hated men and treated them as if they were nothing more than walking, talking sperm banks. And he also recognizes that she was raised as a warrior who descended from royalty. But he also doesn't forget her natural love for all living creatures, and in the end, she just wants to help people, disregarding if they're a man, a woman, a monster, or a total asshole. And what I end up with is an actual character that I care about and want to see more of, rather than a dull mouthpiece for someone's pop culture feminist article. Now, some of the best moments, or the highlights that I would say, are the little character moments. And that's because every character has their own unique voice, and their voice comes from, each character's individual or collected experiences. And for a guy like me who's really into Greek mythology, seeing all these gods behave the way they do, and truly understanding why they behave the way they do, because I have prior knowledge of these characters, is very rewarding. But at the same time, I'm sure someone who isn't as well versed in Greek mythology as I am could still find enjoyment out of these little character moments just because they're written so damn well. And it's not just little moments that really get to me, it's the dialogue as a whole. I found myself either laughing, cheering, or genuinely feeling sad when a character was saying something or did something, and I don't really have that reaction to a lot of comics, so that's really saying something. And just a little thing that I should point out because I really liked it. Azzarello loves wordplay, and I just gotta say, I love him for it. So, I know I'm going on and on about the writing, but my god, the art in this book is just beautiful. The character designs are absolutely gorgeous and they're mind-blowing. I can't really choose who my favorite character design is in terms of the gods. I'm torn between Poseidon because he looks like a giant catfish with hentai tentacles, and I really love Ares because he just looks like Brian Azzarello with a white beard, and I think that's hilarious. Now, there's also a lot of what I like to call artist ideas in this book, and artist ideas are, when I read a book and I say, "Yep, an artist came up with that idea." And, sometimes that can be really bad for a book, but it really works here. And one of the main artist ideas that I really loved is the concept for Hades, and how the underworld is forever changing at the will of Hades, and how it's actually made up of the souls that are trapped there. There's just a dozen more, but that's the one that really stood out to me. And something else about the art that I really feel the need to comment on is that Cliff Chang, Tony Atkins, and everyone else that was involved did a great job of not sexualizing Wonder Woman. David Finch. And even on the covers, instead of feeling the need to draw Wonder Woman in these very provocative poses, David Finch, she's drawn like in these very gender-neutral poses, and she just looks like an overall badass. Oh man, that's just, art is great, to say the least. So, I know I'm gushing all over this book, and I'm giving it nothing but praise, but as I said in my non-spoiler review, this book has issues, and there are two main issues that I have with this run. Issue number one is, I have no idea when this book takes place. And I'm not the biggest continuity hound at all, but there are moments that are called back to and referenced in other books, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck, that makes no sense, how would this person know about that? Or, what's going on? What? No, it makes no sense. And it's very irritating. And if you're not a big continuity hound like I am, you can look past it. But if you are, this book is going to drive you freaking insane. So, I'm just letting you know that right now. Issue number 2. The whole story is about Zola and her baby Zeke. And while I actually really like Zola and Zeke, it does not take 35 goddamn issues to tell their story, and how it relates to Orion, and how it all ties in with the stuff with the Firstborn. I mean, this run could have just been condensed into like 18 to 24 issues. But, yeah, they really could have gotten into all the Wonder Woman God of War stuff way sooner. But, yeah, it was drawn out way too long, and the story does feel like it's going on forever. And that's one of my main complaints with this run. But as a whole, this is amazing. I really think that not only as a Wonder Woman book, this is great. I feel like just as a comic book, this is a must-read. So yeah, there, I said it. This is the definitive interpretation of Wonder Woman. I love it, and I'm actually really glad that the DC Cinematic Universe is taking a cue from Azzarello's run, because I saw in an interview like a couple months ago, one of the producers said that Wonder Woman is the daughter of Zeus, and automatically I just said, yep, the Cinematic Universe has me. I'm your bitch. Just take my money. So yeah, that's how much I love this incarnation of the character. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the Azzarello run on Wonder Woman. I think it's amazing. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. And yeah, I am the Mystical Green Beanie. And as always, until next time, adios, nachos.